Hey, what's up again, social? It's Saturday night, and I have nothing better to do than expand on the L spot and efficiently and strategically. But before I do that, just to be clear, these are my theories, my perspective. Everyone has a different perspective, and based on the things that I do know about the economy, I believe that if we don't apply these things or something similar at least, then in a couple decades, in a few decades, the advanced economies they're gonna start breaking down. The L spot, L star. It's not a there is no formula, one size fits all. And by the time I'm done with this video, it'll be a little bit clearer of how we should set that. And just to be clear, not one size fits all. I said 20 to 30%. That's based on what I know about the U.S. economy. And this is business people, by the way, corporate tax rate. It should be it should change year to year or every 3 years, based on goals. It shouldn't go through some weird process. Business, it should be changed whenever it needs to be changed. No long process for it to be changed. But anyways, I talked about game theory. So once you apply game theory, it doesn't work. The thing breaks down. But who is rational and is going to act in the best interest, for them? If you want it to be the people, then that would be the government, because they're gonna act for the best interest in their people, assuming there is no like major corruption in government, right? And in the United States, I don't think we have that kind of corruption. Now, 2020 corporate profits, they were 2.24 trillion. So, for example, if it was set at 20%, that would be 448 billion in revenue. 30%, 672 billion. Now, I don't know, are these like the real corporate profits, or are people using some weird loopholes? Get rid of those messed up loopholes, whatever they are. If people actually pay, 20% is actually a lot, 30 is insane. That's also a lot. If people, like, if the company's not people, if the company's corporate, completely different from personal. Personal is something else. This is corporate business. If they actually pay corporate, that's a lot of money. They should pay. Close whatever loopholes are out there. Now, it's weird, never stated. Look at this inflationary environment we're in. You could think of it as, it's like also an inflation tool. If you know corporate taxes, corporate profits, and how much they'll pay in taxes, you're literally sucking money straight out of the economy, or injecting it with money based on the corporate tax rate, no loopholes, straight up. Just, it's like a formula: 20% times X, 30% times X, 25% times X. It's an inflation tool now. Monetary policy is not the only inflation tool under this theory, right? Now, there should be exceptions, of course, right? For an exception, let the company apply. Why do you need the tax break or whatever? Corporation. Is it something we need? For example, is it on the list that year or that time period, 3 5 years? If it's, for example, to make their own batteries or whatever, or energy, like Tesla applies, they want to make lithium batteries, sure, keep some of that money. That's, efficiency. Why would we take it to only spend it again? Maybe it's not Apple. Maybe Apple has Apple already making lithium and has supply chain, and it makes more sense. Sure, keep some of it, or keep all of it, depending on goals. These should be the only exceptions if they're on the list. Agriculture companies, maybe, exceptions should be people on the list or companies on the list. Now, efficiency and strategically, okay? What this modern times have taught us, the economy is different, and I'm gonna start out by saying, like, this economic war we're in, it showed us that there is hunger risk and inflation risk, which makes us think of efficiency and strategy, right? Based on these things, I'm gonna go based on efficiency and strategically. I'm gonna go over some sectors that we should think that, yeah, the next time there are sanctions or whatever, we need to have things strategic. Look at the economy, inflation, energy prices. That's because of an economic war. So policy, generally speaking, should account for these kind of things. For example, the food chain, right? I think I believe in the economy that tax rate when that chunk of money should be taken strategically. Yo, that stuff should be invested in food like agriculture. Like, for example, diversify the supply chain. Um, who has land? I was reading an article. TEF is healthier. TEF is healthier. Great. Have 7.5%, 5% production in Africa. It grows there. 12.5% in Asia, percentage. So maybe there is a problem in that region. Political risk, right? That's economic. It's under economics in that region, and that supply comes offline. Well, only 5% of the supply came offline, or 7.5, or 10%. Not some insane 28% of the supply. And for these kind of things, you need feasibility studies. Feasibility studies. You can't make decisions without knowing feasibility studies to see where strategy is. This goes back to the tech hand, and the dollar can take people out of poverty as well. You could be hitting multiple goals here. Second thing, where I believe the money should be going, this kind of money, healthcare. The healthcare system is breaking down. In a couple of decades, it's gonna be a shit show. Hospitals need to be built. Nurses need to be trained. Awareness needs to be raised. People don't know that nursing pays well and pays benefits. If people know that, they'll stop doing some gig jobs. Everyone just wants to raise a family. Medicine, medicine is crucial. Investments need to be made there. Some companies are doing a great job, and I'm gonna talk about a couple of companies later, tomorrow potentially, that are doing a great job. We need more companies like that. So healthcare is important, agriculture and healthcare. Third, I'd say energy. Energy. Time after time, we've seen again what happens when there is some kind of embargo or some kind of tariffs or whatever. We eat it. Our allies eat it. Solar investments, hydro investments, wind investments. These are all things that need to be made strategically, right, and efficiently. And again, feasibility studies. I had some aggressive targets before. Targets are never met, but we need to set some aggressive targets so we don't meet them, but still eventually meet them. Number 4, I'd say technology is going to help a lot, generally speaking. Blockchain technology. Don't invest a ton of this stuff in blockchain technology, but investments do need to be made in blockchain technology. We cannot have blockchain technology and know the things it could do and not even look at it. Investments need to be made in investment technology. Maybe a couple percentage points of this budget or whatever, 5%, 3%, but investments do need to be made there. And, just last few points to end this. Feasibility studies, extremely important for this whole process, for anything to work. Feasibility studies. No more decisions out of my ass sort of thing. Excuse my language, but that's been happening for over 50 years, We have technology. We have data. If we make a decision, generally speaking, in this theory, this theory is for anyone out there. Anyone who wants to adopt any of this. We need to justify it, right? Like if I'm making a decision, I need to be able to justify it accurately with data. Second, I said at the beginning, where should this be set? After all these feasibility studies, now that you know what you need and you know the economy well, you actually know the economy well after all these feasibility studies, you could find that L spot for your economy. Maybe for other economies out there, it's 40%, 45%, because it's so messed up. It's not that messed up in the advanced economies yet, at least, you could get away with so much less. And lastly, make sure, generally speaking, all over the world, minorities and people of color, or not just minorities or people of color, people at the bottom, the bottom 50%, the bottom 10%, they get a chunk of these projects. They get help, It's a 2-in-1, you hit all these objectives while promoting the people at the bottom, just give them projects. But that's it.